Come on, Jill. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, oh, get it through. Get it through. And boom! Ah, ladies and gentlemen, Resident Evil 3 for the PlayStation 2. This is a very, very good game. Especially that beginning there, where Jill almost gets eaten. And we're still using typewriters. Okay, this next part is my favorite part of the game, probably. Has the best scene ever. You play as Jill Valentine, a STARS police officer who is Raccoon City. It takes place actually around Resident Evil 2, so Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 actually kind of parallel with each other. So throughout this game you face a variety of different enemies, including the subtitle, Nemesis. Nemesis is a great motherfucker. He will mess your ass up. So as the title suggests, Nemesis. You actually have a Nemesis this time. His name is Nemesis. His mission is to down all the STARS members and to kill them so that nobody knows about the truth behind the mansion incident, because as we all know, if you ever played Resident Evil, that was basically, that was it.
No!
They knew all about it.
Relax, I'm not dead yet.
Are you okay?
You still have the basic gameplay mechanics, which have been used throughout Resident Evil 1 and 2 and lately 0 and Resident Evil Remake, and this might have become somewhat of a problem for some gamers. The graphics have been updated. You know it's running on a Quake engine rather than Resident Evil 2's engine. You can tell that the textures are greater. The figures still kind of look the same, except for Nemesis. Nemesis probably looks the best out of all of them, which I can, see why. He's supposed to be the best freaking character in the game, and the most strongest formidable opponent. Halfway through the game, you meet a guy named Carlos. He's with the Umbrella Mercenaries. Carlos ends up being your companion for a bit. Go about your adventures in Raccoon City. He really doesn't provide anything, but at one point you do get to play as him, and it is a nice twist to the game. Now, he is with the Umbrella Mercenaries team, as I said before, so he has really no clue as to what Umbrella's real intentions are, so he teams up with Jill and his special unit composed of Mikhail and Nikolai, all your puzzles, and you have your zombies. Your outdated motherfucking zombies. A cool new feature is, though, you actually have options this time. In Resident Evil 4 and 5, you had QuickTime events. This time, you just have options. So I think here's where they started really introducing it, and it works great for this game. It only really happens whenever you're fighting Nemesis, but it's a nice introduction to, whatever it is that Capcom had at that point. The game is great, along with all your puzzles that are still here traditionally. There's nothing much more to say about the game, but it did innovate a lot of new things. For one, the Mercenaries mode. Mercenaries Operation Mad Jackal. Now, if any of this sounds familiar, it's basically ripped off of the fourth Survivor from Resident Evil 2, where you played as Hunk. It actually has the same mechanics, literally, it's basically set up on the same way, except, it added the new features, such as the time limit mode. You basically have to get to an extraction point, save survivors, and kill zombies. You increase your time and you get scored on it. If you notice the gameplay footage that you're seeing now, it does look exactly like Survivor, and that's because it is. It's just added on. So it basically was innovated in Resident Evil 3, but it came from Resident Evil 2. Overall, this game is fantastic. I can't say it's one of my favorites, but it is a great game out of the series. My favorite will always be Resident Evil 2. Great game regardless, though. Jill, Carlos, you get to go through, and for once you actually had that feeling that you're being stalked, They introduced it in Resident Evil 2, I know this with Mr. X, but with Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, top notch, nailed it. Capcom did a phenomenal job with this game, and, you just have to give, congratulations to them. Old game, but still freaking scary as hell. I give this game, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, an 8.5 out of 10.